For the past couple years, I've been doing these videos on buying foreclosures at auction. And I get calls from all over the country, actually all over the world, asking me for advice on how do I buy my first property at auction with an online auction. I'm gonna explain the 3 biggest, worst mistakes that you can make when you're trying to buy at auction online.
De mis amores, no voy a perder la vida entera en tus temores. Hoy me levanto con mi alegría y te devuelvo todo el dolor.
So I've been doing this for a long time, and I've had people from all over the world write me and call me about, I want to buy a foreclosure at auction in Miami-Dade, Broward County, or anywhere in Florida. And I tell them, listen, there are certain big foreclosure F-ups that you can make in buying these things if you don't know what you're doing. So we're gonna talk about what those big mistakes are. Now, the number 1 biggest mistake is actually at the end of the video, but I'm gonna go through the other 2, which are extremely important also. Now, the number 3 most egregious mistake you can do is spending too much money on the actual foreclosure. Now, I don't necessarily mean that you overpaid for the property. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is you have a certain budget of how much you want to spend on this foreclosure. Let's say it's $300,000 or $400,000, and you bid up to the amount that's enough to buy the property at $400,000. The problem is that when you do that and you have no more money coming out of it, yeah, you get the property, but the bid is not enough. You still need, in my opinion, about 20% more for the carrying costs, and especially if you plan to fix and flip the property. If you're gonna spend money on construction, you need a lot more money than what you have when you bid. A lot of people say, okay, my budget is the total amount of money that I have in the bank for this. And then they buy the property, they get it, but then they don't know what to do with it. They can't fix it, they can't do anything with it, then they're forced to sell it and maybe sell it at a loss. So you have to be sure that when you're buying a foreclosure, you have an excess amount of money held back so you can pay the taxes, you can pay the insurance, and obviously if you're going to fix and flip it, the amount of money it's going to take to do that. Next is people that buy with no plan. This is really, really bad. What I mean by this is that you don't know what you're gonna do with the property. You're just excited. Somehow you have all this money and you're excited you're gonna bid. Like there's like a rush, an adrenaline rush, a dopamine rush that you're gonna buy this thing, and you buy it. The problem is that you need to know what you're gonna do with the property once you own it. Now, are you going to live it? Are you going to rent it? Are you going to fix and flip it, or are you just going to flip it? Now, number 1, 2, and 3 require you to put money. Most of the time, if you're gonna live in it, you're gonna have to spend money. Now, this is the one that makes the most sense because you can spend money at your pace and you don't need a lot of money up front. And you're not gonna have a mortgage payment, so you have money to fix it. The other 2 require you to fix it up front. Even if you're gonna rent it, you're gonna have to make corrections. You're going to have to fix things in the property. You probably have to buy new appliances and things like that. So you're going to need money for that. And obviously, if you're going to flip it, that's the most amount of money because you're going to have to do things inside, fix the roof, fix the floors, electricity, all those things. You're going to need money for that. So if you're going, this ties into the first thing, that you need to know what you're going to do with the property once you own it. And the last one is just flip it. Some people actually get really lucky and they pick up a property with enough equity in the bid that they can just turn around and flip it and make a little bit of money. Sometimes you make 20%. Where else are you going to make 20% in 1 month? If you buy it today and you immediately flip it, and let's say you make 20% on your money, so let's say that you bought it for $500, you sell it for $600, you made $100,000 in a month. When are you going to do that? You can't do that in the stock market. You can only do it in fixing and flipping or just flipping. So that's a good thing, but you still need to plan for it regardless. And oh my God, please, this still happens. People still come to my office with this biggest mistake, the worst mistake you can make ever in a foreclosure. I'm going to tell you what it is buying an HOA foreclosure. Never, ever, 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 ever buy an HOA foreclosure. Please, dear God, don't do this. You will lose your money. HOAs are secondary to the first mortgage. In Florida, they're allowed to foreclose. It should be illegal. I don't know why they are allowed to do this, but they do it. And what happens? People buy these things because they're cheaper. Because yeah, those are the ones you get for $100,000. And like, oh, I bought this property for 100 grand. But hello, the first mortgage is still out there. It doesn't foreclose on a senior lien. The first mortgage is a senior lien. They buy the property, they get title, they're so happy. I've had clients coming in after they fix the property and they've spent even more money. They get a foreclosure from the first mortgage because the first mortgage gets to get all of their money. So they've wasted hundreds of thousands of dollars, gave it away. And here's the worst part. Let's say that the original owner only owed $20,000, $30,000 to the HOA and you bid 100 grand or $130,000. That difference, that surplus goes to the original owner. That person hasn't paid their mortgage in years. That person hasn't paid their HOA and they get 100 grand of your money that you just lost. So please, dear God, don't do it. You're not going to be the exception that comes out good on one of these deals. You will lose your shirt like everybody else. Do not buy HOAs. Please, dear God, don't do it. And if you call me with this problem, I'm not going to help you. I'm not even going to talk to you because you start the sentence, oh, well, I bought this HOA. I'm going to say, listen, that's the end of the conversation. There's nothing you can do. You lost your money. It's an unfortunate thing, but please don't do it. That's it for now. Diego Mendez. I'm a bankruptcy foreclosure lawyer here in Miami, Florida, and I've been doing this for a long time. So if you have any questions, you can write them in the comments. You can also try to find me. It's not that hard. Sometimes I'll talk to people, but in any event, Diego Mendez, have a great day.
De mis amores, no voy a perder la vida entera en tus temores. Hoy me levanto con mi alegría y te devuelvo todo el dolor.